Hello, everybody. Welcome to It's Your Life, a Dr. James J.C. Cooley. It's your life. And we have an amazing show for you today. And we are welcoming everyone who is looking at us and reviewing us on all our live streaming platforms. And we have an amazing show for you today. Me and Dr. James J.C. Cooley, we will be talking about a very important subject. And it's just basically general about doing your own research. You know, it's good to listen to other people's opinions on topics or their thoughts about certain things. And that's great. That's, a really constructive conversation. But it's also very important to do your own research and not believe everything that people tell you, whether it's the television, whether it's the internet, social media. It is so important for your growth and for your growth as a person with your own opinion to do your own research. So what we have is a topic called blind belief, the dangers of accepting information without inquiry. That's such an important topic today, especially when it comes to voting. Everyone has their opinion, and we're not trying to change people's opinion. But, a lot of people say, well, we don't know this candidate. We don't know about these positions. My friend said this. Word on the street said that. My goodness, God created us with a brain and to do our own thinking and to also embrace information and just to find out things for yourself. So in order to grow as a person, you must be able to take the time, do your own research, have your own opinion, have your own thoughts. And Dr. James J.C. Cooley has joined the show. What do you think about today's topic, blind beliefs?
I think this is a great topic because a lot of people just follow in the blind, like you said. They don't even think about their opinion. They don't think about the decisions that they make because somebody else told them or they heard it from somebody else. And that is, well, the reason I'm doing this because they're doing it and he said this and he said that. I believe that we all have to take the time to understand that the decisions that we make should be based on our thoughts, to be based on what we know. It should not be just following somebody else in the blind. And so I think this is going to be a great topic to talk about. So I tell
Oh,
you, wherever you watching us at, whether you're watching us on E360 television, whether you're watching us on over 55 other live streaming platforms, including YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, welcome to the show. And if you want to be part of this conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. And myself or Dr. Michelle will get you an answer. So how you doing, Dr. Michelle? I know I kind of came in a little late today.
oh no, that's okay. I'm doing great. I'm just like really excited about this topic. It's so important, especially in election year, and just it's not just about elections, it's just about life in general. So again, audience, please provide your comments, questions, thoughts about this particular topic. So, we're going to talk about being proactive and doing your own research, how informed decisions affect your personal and professional life, and what is confirmation bias? So let's start going with this. What are blind beliefs and how they differ from informed beliefs or opinions based on evidence and critical thinking? I'll start. As children, we are taught or we are raised to believe certain things. Those are our parents and everything like that. So that definitely makes sense. So but the most important thing is when you become an adult, children, they listen to their parents, they listen to their teachers, which is great. But when you become an adult, it's time to, hmm, not challenge those beliefs, but maybe find out the whys behind it. Well, mom and dad said we should, let's say, feel this way about this issue, or feel this way about that issue, or vote this way, or this person is this. Well, let me take a look at it. Let me take a stab at what this is all about. If we are walking through life blindly, and it could be anybody, family, friends, coworkers, blindly accepting what people say as gospel, how are you going to grow and think for yourself? What are your thoughts about that, Dr. James Cooley?
Well, you mentioned growing up. I'm talking about, and of course, we follow our parents, we follow our adults that's overseeing us and that's nurturing us. But I believe that as we grow, as we mature, we have to be able to discover things ourselves. We have to be able to make rational decisions that this might not be the best way of doing this or the best way of thinking that way because depending on your upbringing and type of family that you're born into, uh, whatever that family beliefs are, and they stick with it from generation, might have led them to many other conditions that they are in. Ultimately, if they are good, bad, or indifferent. But we have to be open minded and we have to see things from a realistic perspective. Not that it's not realistic, but
Mhm.
be able to pick and choose because I have friends that's locked into um, certain way because somebody else said this, and that's gospel because they said it. I'm gonna do this because they said this and they said that. And Michelle, that's not always the right way of doing things, and so we have to discover through uh, the people that we are surrounded by, uh, through a lot of things that our parents do tell us. I mean, a lot of the stuff that they're doing upbringing, I can only share with my about my upbringing. As an adult, as a grown man, now some of the things I wouldn't even think about doing because it would lead me into a situation or circumstances that I don't want to be a part of. So I think you're absolutely right when you talk about making decisions for yourself as you mature. And so, what are your thoughts on that?
I was thinking about, you told me a funny story a couple of times about something about a cooking thing. Like, why did or cut the ham or something like that. Or let me tell you, tell the audience that, just tell the audience that story. It kind of goes into asking questions on why certain things were done, even though it was told that you do it this way. But can you, kind of tell that story? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about this is a story that's been passed down from generation to generation. And a lot of times we use a story about the ham. Um, this lady, for example, had been married and she would buy a ham and she would always cut the end of the ham off and throw it away. The husband said, "Hey, why are you wasting this end of the ham?" And she said, "Well, my mama did it." And so he said, "Okay, let's go and talk to your mother and find out why we are throwing the end of the ham away." And so he went and talked to her. She said, "Well, my mama did it." You know, and so they said, "Okay, let's go ask your mom." They went and asked the, which was her grandmother, her white grandmother. The mother asked her mom, "Why did you cut the ham off at the end and throw it away?" And she said, "Okay, that's easy. I cut it off because I didn't have a pan big enough." So if we get locked into situations and circumstances, we're doing things just because the generations are doing it, and we don't know why. There's nothing wrong with asking why. I believe in everything that we do have to be about the what, why, when, and how. So
The why is so important.
the why is totally important. That's probably the most important portion of it is the why. Because if you don't know why you're doing something and you're just blindly doing it, it's like I said, that might not be the best decision that you can come up with. I don't know why you came up with that one, but I
I just
told you.
thought about that. I just thought about that. It really has to do with, buying belief and not doing your own research. And, social media is great, talking to people and even, reading the internet. It's perfect. Sometimes the internet doesn't tell you everything. It's mostly biased on, depending on who's writing the article. I mean, even on television news, depending on what news station you watch. Some news stations are biased on one side, others are biased on the other. So it's like, okay, who do I believe? Think, use your brain. It takes time to do research. If someone's telling you this, it's like, okay, I see where you're coming from. Half of that may be true, but have you even thought about the other option or the other side? And we can go and discuss the James when it talks about business, right? Let's say you have direct reports and you're telling your direct reports to do something. And they would want to, I would hope they would ask, well, why are we doing this? Not that they're challenging you, but they want to understand why they're doing this. Because what if someone else asks them and they just say, oh, well, the boss said to do it. I don't know why. Wouldn't you appreciate someone, James, who your direct report, if they ask you why do I need to do this? They're going to do it, but they want to know why. Wouldn't you appreciate, or would you just, get annoyed if they're asking you questions?
I tell you what, let's hold off on that question until we come back from the break because that's important
Mhm.
to know. And I know what I believe. So we're gonna take a station break right now. But if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is go to the platform that you're watching us on. Ask any question that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. Or just join into the conversation. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? In everything that you do.
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, Michelle and I are sitting here chatting about uh, blind beliefs or just falling blind on things that we don't think about ourselves. We just let other people uh, make those decisions for us on everything. And as Michelle was asking a question about, when you work, and I got this theory called the 87-10-3. And I believe that this theory about the 87-10-3 explains what you would ask me about, Michelle, uh, about understanding why. In this theory, I believe that 87% of the world population, if you add up 87-10-3, those equal category of people. And it comes down to, it adds up to 100%. Each one of us fall into one of those categories. And so let me give you my theory on 87-10-3. 87% of the world population is average, ordinary, or below. And they would do anything that anybody tell them pretty much if he was working at a job and say I worked at Lockheed Martin as an aerospace engineer. But we had people that are working at the job. They worked in the factory, and their job was to go around and make staples, or to keep the skin of the plane on. So facets is what we call them, facets, and many of them had to turn out like 10,000 facets a day. But you go and ask lot of the workers, um, what are you doing? What is your job? Uh, why are you doing this? Well, my job, the boss told me to just make these facets. I got to turn out 10,000 facets a day. And they said, well, what are you making the facets for? I don't know. The primary means was they were just doing this just because it was a job. And you can tell that person, I want you to walk around the building 5 times, take this and bring it back and just put it over there. Now, If you don't know why you're doing this and you're just doing it, most of the 87% are going to do it, and then they're going to complain. But they don't care. But they're looking at the watch. They're looking at their watch because it's just an 8 hour, 10 hour day. And he asked them, "What your job it goes into what?" Well, the boss told me to do this, and we're building some type of thing. They really don't know what they're doing. So, uh, 87% of the world is kind of like that. Even especially in the political world, they are going to listen to whoever side they think they're on and not understand any of the facts. And so 87% of people are kind of like robots. Take me to your leader. Take me to your leader. And their only thing is the clock. Now, 10% of the world population is what we call, they're kind of like the manager or foreman positions. And if the boss came to them and told them to walk around the building and put this chair over there, they're going to look at him and they're going to argue with him. Like, okay, you got me walking around putting a chair from here to there, but they're not going to ask why. They're gonna argue, get mad. They're gonna do it. Now, out of the 10%, it's gonna be one, always 1% of they're gonna sit back and try to figure out, is this productive? And then they're just gonna let it go for a while. So I remember I said 87, 10, 3. 3% of the world population runs everything. They go by what they call the golden rule. Whoever had a gold rules. Many times it's all about money. They don't care how the job gonna get done. It's all about profits, sales, this. And they come down on the 10%, which is the managers that work for them, all about production. And the managers come down on the 87%, who's all about just having a job. So let's go back to the 10%. Remember, I said one, 1 out of 10 or 10% of that. It's going to sit back. It's only going to be one. Say if you had 10 folks, it's only going to be one. Just going to say, "But boss, I know I might get fired for this, but you want me to walk around this building 3, 4 times, and you want me to put this chair over here?" They're going to ask the question, why? Why am I doing this? And the boss is going to say, "Well, no, I just wanted that chair to be moved from there to here." And they're going to move that chair. Not going to walk around. Only because they had enough uh, sense and they wasn't afraid to ask the question, why? If you don't know why you're doing something, you shouldn't be doing it. I'm talking about anything. If you don't know why, if you're afraid to ask the question, why, you shouldn't be doing it at all. I mean, and whoever, let's say the boss or whoever that is, if they can't answer that question, that means there's not great leadership there. What are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
I definitely think that is true. I like people who challenge, ask the why they do certain things. And we got a comment from Fire and Life Talk. JC, you are telling all the secrets. But you know what? You have to ask why. But, I want to take it a step further. Why do you think people are hesitant to do the research themselves? I mean, you can easily say laziness, or do you think that they're going to have to try hard to do research and find out or ask the why questions. I understand about the direct reports. Maybe they're afraid they might offend their manager and ask why. But as a manager, I would really welcome that because it means my employees, my direct reports are engaged. They're engaged in embracing knowledge of why the task needs to be done a certain way. But I'm just talking about in life, people who don't want to do the research. Word on the street. I heard, social media says, social media that. I mean, if you just want to sit around and gossip all day, that's your business. However, when it comes to important things, how can you provide a constructive conversation with a group of people if you haven't done your own research? If you're going by word on the street or what the media says, and they're going to ask you why. They're going to ask you why you feel this way or where did you get your information from? And what's going to happen is you're going to be totally embarrassed. Well, I read on the internet, I read on social media. Well, this host on this TV told me this. Let me tell you something. And you can agree or disagree and just tell me what your thoughts are, James. The news will only show you what they want you to see. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, first of all, yes. I mean, if you're following just a news network and they're only going to display what they want you to get from their network. And I say almost all other news networks are biased toward that.
Mhm.
Whatever their beliefs are, that's what they're, and the people that are watching their network, that's where they're going to drive their beliefs at. But you mentioned something. I believe that a lot of people don't do this, don't read, don't think about things because they're lazy and they don't want to put the time in to do the work. They want somebody else to put the time in, but they want to get all the glory. I mean, uh, but they don't want to put the time in. They don't want to take the effort. And it's just, to me, I think it's purely laziness. Because, and then you're not informed if you don't do the research. You have to do the research on everything that you do, especially now. Every decision that you make in, say, as head of the family, it's going to affect the whole family.
Yes.
And if you are just going by what somebody else is saying, um, that's your world, and you might be in your world by yourself. You remember I always say the emperor has no clothes. He running around making all the rules, telling people to do all of these things, and he walked around and just forgot. A couple of times he walked around buck naked, thinking that he fully dressed. And that's how it is when you just follow the blind and that's you just do things just because it's your work.
You know,
What are your thoughts on that?
It's true. It's true. You follow the blind because you're lazy, or maybe you just, I don't know, maybe it could be a self-esteem issue. Maybe you don't think that you have anything to contribute. I mean, there's so many reasons why people don't want to research on their own and form their own opinions. It's very interesting because, I get in an email every day a new word. So basically, there I'm getting an email about a word that I really don't use. So it gives me an explanation what that word is. If you don't know something or a topic of conversation, don't pretend you don't pretend you know. That is the worst thing. I think probably in our life we got caught up in that. We pretended we knew about a conversation, like, yeah, I agree. That's terrible. That's a shame. If you don't know, listen to what the people are saying, right? Don't If you don't know anything about the topic, just listen. And then what you've taken into your brain, go find out and research on your own, but never pretend to be something or be qualified in a topic that you have no knowledge of just to sound smart or fit in. What are your thoughts?
Well, again, that goes back to, and I'm gonna say it again, laziness. And a lot of people just want to just be part of the conversation. They pretend. But I tell you, when you pretend, you start believing those things yourself most of the time.
Mhm.
And anybody that really understands whatever the conversation is, and to all other folks that are in the conversation, and you come in and you pretend like you know all these things, you're gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It's only gonna take like a minute or something for the folks to look at you and like, this is a phony imposter pretending to be something or do something that they have no clue about. That's why I say, got to be authentic about everything that you do. We have to learn to believe in ourselves. We have to learn to tell ourselves the truth and not become part of something just because it might seem cool or somebody said this and you follow that. So we got about 2 minutes before the break. Pick it up from there, Michelle.
You know what? Even if you have, I'm just going to talk about, I know we got 2 minutes before the break. Let's say you're going through some medical issues, right?
Mhm.
Doctors are subject matter experts in their field. They're telling you something and everything like that. And, you're going through the process. I am a firm believer in being your own patient advocate and doing your own research as well. Look at the website, look at the procedures, look at what everything the doctor is telling you, the pros and the cons. I believe you have to do that for your personal life, as far as your personal wellness and health, and also just to make sure that what they're recommending is in line with what you're looking to get. So we'll pick that up later on. But I see Dr. Stacy Bullock has joined us, and she'll be in the next segment.
I'm looking forward to having Dr. Stacy join this conversation because she's going to bring so much excitement and enlightenment to what we're talking about. So, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you got to do is just go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. Come back. We got Dr. Stacy Bullock. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
Heaven Abounds in You takes you on an inward journey of discovery that dramatically transforms your outward experience of life. Discover the power of belief. Utilize it in connection with science to create a vision of meaning and purpose that pulls you forward. Let go of the meager me to discover the magnificent me. Let go of your painful past and live life free from fear, worry, and stagnation. Experience an abundant universe as you powerfully create happiness, relationships, health, and limitless opportunities. When you heal your mind, all things are possible.
I've seen a smile convey I love you. I'm proud of who you are. The one that keeps us close when we're apart. Walking from the darkness of all that we've been through. It seems that there might be a way to leave behind the loneliness we've known. and live again. Life of
Welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, just sitting here having fun with Michelle, talking about a form of blind belief, imposter syndrome, pretending when you don't
Ooh.
believe certain things, and just going by. Take me to your leader. On what anybody tell you. And we got Dr. Stacy Bullitt joining us today. I'm so happy, Stacy, that you popped in because I know you got some comments on this one. So
Wait a minute. I want to remind the audience and Stacy, Dr. Stacy, what we've been talking about. The title of the show is Blind Belief, the Dangers of Accepting Information Without Inquiry. Me and Dr. Cooley have been talking about, I heard word on the street. Well, the internet says, this magazine says, blah, 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 blah. Don't you have an opinion of your own? And we're talking about how people might be lazy or they may feel uncomfortable. But if you're not qualified, or if you have not your opinion to contribute to a conversation, we don't want to hear what the internet said. We want to hear what you have to say. And we don't want to hear about word on the street. Please, Dr. Stacy, tell us what your thoughts are.
Wow.
Oh.
Thank y'all. Oop, I'm on. Am I on mute?
No, we can't hear you. You might turn up your volume.
Oh, okay. Let me see here. What's
There you
going
go.
on?
We're good.
We're good?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So thanks for having me. Sorry I'm joining late. I actually was anyway. Back to the question at hand. When Michelle was talking, excuse me, Dr. Michelle was speaking, the things that kept popping in my head were a church sermon. And why this popped in my head, I don't know. Y'all know how my mind works sometimes. I just hear from God, and as people saying now, I get a download. When that download just hit me just now, it said to me, when people teach and speak in churches to their audience, say there's 3,000 people out there. Guess what? That's 3,000 different viewpoints. But out of those 3,000, probably only 100 of them are going to go back and actually look at where he or she spoke from, so that they get their own interpretation. We can't just take somebody's word for it, what they say, especially now with so many avenues of being able to get what they call information. Is it truly information that's going to give you a knowledge of something, or is it just somebody's perception, which can be skewed by many different variables? And I'm going to stop because I know, Dr. James, you got something you want to say.
Well, no, that's what you kind of got me with your church sermon because the pastor said this, so every time the pastor says something, doesn't necessarily mean the pastor's always right. Not saying that he's not, but if just case in point, if you don't have a great pastor, you got somebody that said, well, I want everybody to drink this right here. It's going to make you feel good. And people just, in today's time, you can't always do that. Just
right.
Drinking stuff. Remember what happened with Jim Jones?
Yeah, I was going to say they got a saying for that now. Oh, they drinking the Kool-Aid.
But I think it's so important, Stace, that people do the research. And
Mhm.
that I'm talking about everything that you do. You do your research on it, at least have some type of knowledge and understanding of what you are trying to accomplish. And everybody that comes up to you, everybody, just like I always say, pick and choose your friends carefully. Uh, Pick and choose your friends carefully. Pick and choose the crowd that you hang around. Everybody might not be, how would you say this? Gonna sound a little ghetto. Hang around, but you know, everybody might not be the person a person that you want to hang out with because that might not be the lifestyle you want to live, especially when you're trying to live a godly and Christian life and just follow all the rules and regulations. And you got many out there that don't do that.
Right.
And so I think it's important that we all understand that some of the decisions that we make have major consequences
Mm-hmm.
and can put us in situations and circumstances that if we would have took a split second and thought about all the different things that could occur. I try to do that, Dace. Before I even talk, I try to think about everything that comes out my mouth before I say it, that little split second.
Yeah.
Um, and it comes down to in the situation of a reaction. Because if you react to certain things, it's I always talk about this thing. I say it's two words, only two words that I know. Got same exact spelling,
Uh-oh. Oh,
but means opposite of each other.
all right. I
I
can
know
think. Mm-hmm.
Jack saying I'm putting out all the secrets right now, but these two words and our audience and if you listen to them got the same spelling, same exact words, I mean same exact letters, but
Mm-hmm.
mean two different things. And these two words are react and create. Same spelling,
Wow.
but means total different opposite of each
Right.
other.
Right. You mean they have
And
the same letters?
same
Yeah.
letters,
Yes.
but the meaning is opposite of each other. And
Yes.
that's how it is with blind
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. Um, I believe that case in point with the word react.
Mm-hmm.
If you are caught up in this side where you caught up in the flesh states, caught up in the flesh burns. The only way that you can make bad decisions is in the flesh, unless you
Mm-hmm.
just don't care. And then it's case in point, say if you're walking in the supermarket, somebody accidentally come up and bump you, boom, you just turn around and hit them, swing immediately. Uh, you reacted. And that's
Mm-hmm.
consequences behind that because
Mm-hmm.
you hit somebody, you go to jail. But somebody
Yes,
come up and
sir.
accidentally bump into you and you take that split second, you can think of so many more uh, things. You're like, oh, they might have been in a rush and they might have had the head turn or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
create is having vision, being able to think things out.
Mm.
React is just reaction. Reacted and we make bad decisions when we react to things. What are your thoughts on that?
Because when we react, is usually in that split second.
Mhm.
And that's how a lot of people wind up in jail.
Mhm.
Because
Oh yeah, absolutely.
you said people can go to jail for certain things, and not just because they reacted and they hit somebody. You know, life might have hit them hard with some financial troubles, and they're like, "Ooh, if I just take this, if when they walk in the room, they wasn't expecting it because a reaction is to something that I wasn't expecting." But because I had not done what my sign says behind me, train your mind to win every day, because that individual may not have been practicing humility. They may not have been practicing self-control. They may not have been practicing trust and having real faith in God for me, that, you know what, this thing is going to turn around for me. But that split second, that moment that we were not prepared for. Whew.
Wow.
Dr. James, we got to walk. We have to prepare ourselves for everything. And so in that reaction moment, am I prepared? Have I been putting myself in situations, not physically, but maybe mentally, and trying to work through and say, well, what would happen if my spouse were to no longer be here? What would I do with my life? These things are real life things. We're not talking about, oh, my car broke down and would I thumb a ride or would I ask my neighbor? No, that's kind of simple, but what would I do if life really smacked me upside the head and made me lean?
Hold that thought, Stace, because you got. We're gonna take a station break, but you just threw me all the way back 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Thumb in the ride. I don't remember last time I heard that. But and we all done that before. At least I have many, many times. We're gonna take a station break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna continue to talk about this great topic. And if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is to go to the platform that you're watching this on, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the break.
What if that road that you're taking's a dead end? What if love leaves you all jaded and broken? What if that limb breaks you're climbing out on? Yeah, what if it all goes wrong? But what if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if that road is a beautiful slow drive? What if that love ends up lasting a lifetime? What if that limb holds you oak tree strong? What if this time nothing goes wrong? What if it all goes right? What if it all works out? What if the stars line up and good luck rains down? What if you chase your dream and it changes your whole life? Yeah, what if it all goes right? What if you jump on a trampoline and touch the
Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be on it, to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z, and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection. Hello, welcome back to James Cooley Show. It's Your Life, and I'm here with Dr. Stacy Bullock. Wow, it's always an absolute pleasure having her on the show, chatting with her, because she brings so much insight. She inspires, she aspires,
Ooh.
but all of those great things. Stace, we're talking about, as you know, blind beliefs and just doing things without being knowledgeable about, and trying to fit in with imposter syndrome as well. You know, I believe it's important that we uh, educate our
Mm,
youth and young adults and the folks that are around us that you have to be authentic. You just be yourself.
mhm.
Be yourself, regardless of what you might think, what other people might think about you. By being yourself, you're able to display and make the decisions. Hopefully, they are the right decisions. Uh, Based on your understanding, based on your knowledge, not just by what others are saying or what others expect of you. What are your thoughts on that?
Because of the definition of the imposter syndrome, it has to do a lot with how somebody feels about themselves internally. And so I know, Dr. Cooley, you have a foundation that mentors youth, which is so important these days that the right people mentor our youth. Because just like I said, internally, we could mess some people up with our belief. Well, what I believe for me may not be the same as what somebody else needs to believe for themselves, because I'm me. I'm gonna be authentically Stacy from this point on, and it wasn't always this way. Let me say to the audience out there, it was not always this way. I wanted to. I was a staunch people pleaser, and and because of that, I would, go out of my way to make people feel like I knew everything that I was talking about, and I was this uh, strong person. But on the inside, I was crumbling. And so, actually, I had it was pre-recorded for my show on Friday. I'm kind of let the cat out the bag a little bit, but it was about the mean girl persona. And because people want to put that up as to this is who I am, that's not who you are. Now you really delving over into that imposter. Like this, you're not that person. And why do you believe that you're that person? Why? Somebody who told you that? It's kind of like that. You want to walk up to people sometimes and say, "Excuse me, who told you that you were that?" Because your behavior is demonstrating that you believe everything they told you that was a lie. Like sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. That's a big lie. Words will hurt people far worse than a rock. Not unless, they get killed. Not unless they, Goliath and David taking you down.
And words and just like you said, words are painful. And we have to be very careful about the words that we use toward others, uh,
Mm-hmm.
because once you say it, you can't take it back.
Mm-mm.
And many people have, you call it drink the Kool-Aid, has forced themselves to believe that they are something that they are not.
Mm-hmm.
And the minute you start doing that, and then it's just like telling a lie, and then you have to go around telling another lie to cover up this one, do this one, cover up that one. We have to be very careful. I said be you all the time, and you won't be telling lies. We got about 2 minutes left in the show. Dr. Cooley, what is your thoughts on that?
We can go on for hours to talk about this conversation. But sometimes when people don't know who they are or what they can contribute and how special they are, they will just put it in somebody else's hands to make the decisions for them or for them to think for them if they're not confident in who they are. What do you think, Dr. Stacy? You see like you're nodding your head.
Yeah. I mean, I was just, when Dr. James was saying something, it made me remember that when people are not being authentic in who they really are, that's why they begin to have the imposter syndrome. They start to feel like a fraud, because it's just that disconnect in the mind. It's like, wait a minute, my heart doesn't, I know I'm not that person, but I've been acting this way and I've been fake. And then now we go down the road of, doubt and what am I really fake? Do I really not know who I am? Can I be who I really am? Take yourself through all that turmoil. Erase it. You just erase it. If you like a pink sock and a blue sock, wear it.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. I tell you what. This has been an absolutely great show, and Michelle, you're right. We could go on for hours, but I'd like to thank you, Stace, for tuning in to this and bringing your great insight to it, like you always do. So I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley, the executive producer, for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cooley Show with Shabbat. Also, Stacy, watch her show every Friday. Every Friday at 4 p.m. Pacific. It's still 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Yes.
So if you really want to get some excitement and get some insight, tune into her show. I watch all the time. And it's just a great show. So, but I like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning into the James Cook Show. Always remember to dream big, think big, and be big at everything you do. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Is your life. We'll see you then.